Catherine, are we online? We are, okay. Great chatter going on this morning and everybody's in good spirits. Let's gather together, and I'd like to call this Municipal Planning Commission meeting for the County of Newell, September 11th, 2025 meeting to order. We do have a couple MPC members that are absent. Could I get an excuse for Lynette and for Ellen? Thank you, Arno. All in favor of Arno's motion? That is carried. Thank you. I'd like to start off this morning a little bit differently. I'd like to recognize September 11th, 2001, this being the 24th anniversary of the towers going down in New York. And on the screen, you'll see the 24 Canadians that lost their lives that day. So although I'm not the right person to be doing this, I would like to take a moment just to acknowledge not only our departed, but also the rescue people who worked on that day. So 9/11, 2001. Okay, thank you for that. Minutes of our August 7th meeting. How do you wish to handle them? Holly?
I'll move approval of the minutes.
Okay, any questions, concerns? All in favor of Holly's motion? That is carried. Post-agenda items. Anything to be added to our agenda before approval? Seeing none, a motion to approve the agenda. Dan? All in favor of Dan's motion? That is carried. Okay. Item 6, permitted use report. Channelie, anything you want to highlight there?
Thank you. I just wanted to mention that the Waltron Holdings, which is the fourth one down, that is the old ADJOURN trucking shop. And the one beneath that, the Armor Buildings Systems, they were the applicant, but the business that they did the addition on was for Palliser Sales.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Channelie? So we will accept that report for our information. Thank you for that, Channelie. Item 7.1. Your mic is...
Sorry. I have 4 development permits today. They're all the same applicant, Braden Schroeder, different land locations. The first one, 2025061, is for the installation of a ground mount for individual use. The solar array measures 3 meters wide and 46 meters long and is proposed to be installed north of the existing dwelling and dug out on the southeast corner of the parcel. The applicant is not requesting any variances to the bylaw. There was no response from adjacent landowners, and there was no issues or concerns from administration, and we're recommending approval with conditions. One thing that was a question from previously that I have an answer for was the solar panels are a 45-degree fixed tilt. They don't move, and they face south.
Okay. Are there any questions? Adina?
I think we should go ahead with the motion. I'll make that motion.
Thank you. All in favor of Adina's motion? That is carried. Similarly, 7.2.
Development permit 2025063 is for ground mount solar, 3 meters by 42 meters long, and is proposed to be installed north of the dugout. Again, the applicant is requesting no variances to the land use bylaw, no response from adjacent landowners, no issues or concerns from administration. And we're recommending approval with conditions.
Thank you. How do you wish? Go ahead, Neil.
I'll make the motion to approve that.
Thank you. All in favor of Neil's motion? That is carried then. 7.3 on our agenda.
Development permit 2025064 is for 3 meters by 52 meters long, to be installed between the pivot and the utility right-of-way on the south of the parcel. The applicant is not requesting any variances to the bylaw. There was no response from adjacent landowners, no issues or concerns from administration, and we're recommending approval with conditions.
Thank you. Dan?
Yeah, I move we approve on this one as well. Yeah, I know, right?
All right. Thank you for that. Dan's motion to approve with as recommended. All in favor of that motion? That is carried. 7.4.
Development permit 2025065 is for a ground mount solar measuring 3 meters wide and 42 meters long, proposed to be installed on the southwest corner of the parcel. The applicant is not requesting any variances to the bylaw. There was no response from adjacent landowners, no concerns with administration, and we're recommending approval with conditions.
Thank you, Shanley. Dan has a question.
No, I want another crack at this one.
Oh, do you?
I
see.
motion we approve as recommended.
Okay. I just have a quick question. It's the reason these small arrays are coming is because it's over the size of our land use bylaw permitted use. Okay, so we're going to look at that at the next meeting. Okay, so we're that close. Braden will be happy to hear that, I'm sure. All right, we have a motion by Dan to approve this application. All in favor? Thank you, that is carried. We had no post-agenda items. Is there any other business that you'd like to discuss? Seeing none. Reason for in-camera? Seeing none. I'll adjourn. Oh, question period. Catherine, do you have any? Okay, I'll adjourn this meeting then. Thanks, ladies.
It being 10:20, or very close to 10:20, I will call this meeting to order. See, we have everyone in the room. Welcome to our council meeting for September 11th, 2025. As was indicated by Councillor Chrisman earlier at the MPC meeting, this is some 24 years after September 11th of 2001, which we all remember with clarity. So we'll get right after the meeting here. Have you had a chance to look at the minutes of the August 7th meeting? Excused from meeting? Pardon me, yes. First we need to excuse, thanks Matt, two people from the meeting. Both Lynette and Ellen will not be here today. Kelly, move to excuse them. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. Minutes of the August 7th meeting. Any errors or omissions, or a motion to approve as circulated? Holly? Motion? Thank you. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Are there any post-agenda items to add? I think there'll be a few items under functions of council, but those will be dealt with under functions of council. Anything else? I note that we have delegations at 10:30 and 11:45 this morning. If there's nothing to add, a motion to approve the agenda as circulated. Amanda? Thank you. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Any questions in the electronic world? And none on site, I don't think. So we will move on to item number 7.1, bylaw for 2101-25, the Newell Regional Emergency Management Partnership. Lane?
Good morning, Council.
Good morning.
So this matter has been before Council a few times. Just providing an update for you. The City of Brooks has approved their bylaw, as has the Village of Dutchess. It's going before Bassano and Rosemary next week as well. You're in a position to move forward with third reading unless there's some questions that we need to deal with at this time.
Thank you, Lane. Are there any questions with regard to third reading for this bylaw? Neil?
I would move third reading for this bylaw.
Thank you. Did you have a comment? No. Okay. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. Thanks, Lane. Are we?
Yeah, then we can go up to 10.1.
Great. Yeah. I think that everyone's here for the for 10.1, our subdivision extension discussion. Let's move to 10.1 and invite Maria to take us through that, please.
Thank you. This is a subdivision extension request for subdivision decision 2023-0-005, which was approved by the Municipal Planning Commission on May 11th, 2023. The approval was valid for 1 year and has now expired. However, the Municipal Government Act does allow council to approve an extension, and council may grant a 1-year extension whether or not the time period has expired. In reviewing the application, the approval granted, the subdivision is still acceptable as the proposal continues to meet the criteria of the land use bylaw and the subdivision authority bylaw. There is an approved development permit for the construction and operation of a Class 2 landfill for industrial use on these lands. This development also requires approval under the Environmental Protection and Enhancement Act, and the applicants are still waiting for that approval. They do believe that it is very close, but they have not received the signed paperwork at this time. The reason for the subdivision is to separate the lands that will be used for the waste facility from the agricultural lands. Should approval not be obtained from the Alberta government, then the subdivision will not be required, as the lands will all be continued to use for agriculture purposes. So the response options are that council grant the extension, that they refuse the extension, or you table the request for additional information. And it is recommended that council approve the extension for 1 year.
Thank you, Maria. Are there any questions? Kelly, go ahead,
I
please.
have no question. I was interested in making the motion.
Okay. Holly, you have a question? I'll delay the motion. Thanks.
Hi, just was wondering, so it expired 16 months ago. So is there, it can go on indefinitely once it's been granted to get the subdivision extension? Is there any max timeline, and why is it coming forward now?
Go ahead, Maria, please.
They were granted a year extension in May internally, and now it's coming to council because it is moving forward. And so this extension would be just for 1 year, which would take them then to 2026, I suppose. And then at that time, an additional extension would come to council, but the recommendation would be that probably the recommendation would be that it doesn't go forward again.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none. Kelly, you're prepared to make a motion?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we grant the extension by resolution as recommended.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions? All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. Thanks, Maria.
And if you carry through admin before we get to Tom, that'll just wrap up that section for Ariana.
10.2? Oh, Councillor, payment sheets, right? Yeah. Okay, let's carry on at the agenda where we are. 10.2, Councillor payment sheets. Anything we need to be aware of there? Pardon me? Yeah. Looking then for a motion of acceptance of the councillor payment sheets. Greg?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. 10.3, requests for functions of council. Holly, go ahead.
I'm thinking the WA Ranch Tour, October 15th, that should be a function of council.
Okay, you make that motion? Okay, all in favor, please indicate. Okay, that's carried. Thank you. Question? Go ahead.
So just to give some background on that came from CDC South Committee. It's an opportunity to tour the ranch west of Calgary and meet the people that operate and function the UFC. So it's a PR opportunity as well as an educational opportunity.
Greg, thanks, Kelly.
Yeah, is it recommended that we all, or most of us, show up for that? Would it be a good PR move to do that, or not? Is it?
I believe we've all been invited, and I think it basically the early discussion came out of our time at Adventures in spring, and then subsequent to that, one of the representatives was at the tour of CDC South, and coming out of the Adventures discussion, there was kind of an invitation for us to see what was at W8 Ranch. So I think we're all welcome to attend, and I think it should be an informative opportunity to see what's happening there. And a follow-up to their significant interest in what's happening at CDC, although not directly connected because of different departments, right? The Department of Science is not, WA Ranch is specific to the veterinary college. Yeah. Neil, please.
I think it's worth as many of us as can go, just because we're into CDC reasonably deep, and anytime we can make any kind of connections, we do need them at CDC. So, and it's a really cool spot to visit for the day. Like it's nice.
Thank you. Kelly, did you have another comment or question? Okay, we think we have a motion on the floor that this become a function of council. All in favor, please indicate. It's carried, thank you. Other functions of council? Kelly, please.
It's not that I'm wanting to go or anything, but I think we should have representatives at the SPEC AGM on September 12th.
Yes. Yeah, that was on my list too. Thanks for raising it. I think we've all had an invitation.
Sorry, it's September 16th.
16th next week. So you're making a motion that it be a function of council?
No, I'm suggesting that it be, that we assign 2 or 3 people to ensure that we have somebody there. I don't know that 10 councillors need to go to the AGM.
No, okay.
Okay, that's all I'm suggesting. Are there volunteers that are able to go?
Who can attend that day for sure? Anyone? Adina?
Well, right now, when I look at the book, it looks like my day is free, and I'll have to say, I have attended this before when I was on the FCSS board, and I do feel it's important because at the time, SPEC wasn't aware that the County of Newell contributed any money to them at that time, so.
Okay, so you're able to attend? Anyone else? It's at noon, I believe.
There must be hamburgers or hot dogs available. It's at noon. I don't know.
I will intend to go if I can make it, but I'm a little bit question mark at this point. But anyone else? Amanda? Okay.
So my motion would be that 3 people be a function of council for up to 3 people.
Okay. All in favor of that motion, please indicate. Thank you. And we'll note that Adina and Amanda believe they can attend, so we will be represented at least. That's good. Any other functions of council? Seeing none, we will move on to municipal services business. We have an NRSC report, and I think Cole won't be here today, but I think we've got a written report that we've been able to see, so I'll invite Mark. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Typical update, we're into September, so construction's still well underway with several projects on the go, looking to get things wrapped up mid to late October, as we won't discuss the seasonal change because when we do, it shows up sooner than later. But everything's looking pretty good. Municipal enforcement going on with partner hourly commitment still, a little bit short on those just because of officer training and whatnot with onboarding and recertifications of the supervisor, but everything looks pretty good in that area. We've got everything practically received now with fleet replacements, equipment replacements and additions. Our own team got the picker and the flat deck moved over from the cabin chassis of the old unit onto the new unit. It's finally in operation, so that's great that they took that on themselves. Grader operators, well, we went from wet and muddy to I can't see through the dust and what are you going to do about it? Welcome to heat and no moisture. So grader operators contending with washboard, contending with dust. We're hearing it from residents about dust. Now they want less frequent grading, but tolerate the washboard, but the neighbor doesn't tolerate the washboard. So the balancing act, we keep doing what we're doing, rotation with everything to keep roads safe, and operators use their judgment in what needs to be done and carry on with their business. Resurfacing program for gravel roads, 68% complete. They're obviously a little bit beyond that since preparation of this report, so they're making great progress there. July rains and stuff really delayed them in where they are, but I think everything's going extremely well. They're on time still, and they'll move into stockpiling once they get the gravel roads done. Otherwise, south community entrance sign is finally erected, so the refurbishment of the county, welcome to the County of Newell signs is complete, and I think they look great. You drive into the region in the dark and you can see welcome to the County of Newell through the aluminum reflectorized lettering. I think council made an excellent choice for costs with it and balancing what we actually need to do and have out there for motorists to be known where they are and whatnot, but they look great and pretty happy with that. Our seasonal staff, saying thanks to them for their dedicated effort over the summer. We had 3 returning seasonals this year. They did great. They stuck it right through to the end of August, so that was even better. And they're off on other endeavors, and hopefully we're going to see 3, maybe even 4 of them return again next year, which greatly reduces the onboarding and training time. So always a pleasure having them. Road rehabilitation, Lake Newell Resort. Asphalt is going down in Block 1, so everybody will soon be able to get into their driveways in Block 1. Block 4 is still being excavated and reconstructed, and things seem to be going great down there. I've observed some of the improvements. I think everybody should be extremely happy. I've got some positive feedback from some of the residents, and yeah, it's short-term pain for long-term gain, which is what we pitched to begin with. And yes, the timeline was a little bit longer perhaps in some instances, but there's some unknowns that we always walk into. The product that's being delivered looks excellent in my opinion, and everybody should be extremely happy with that. So what else is important here? Asphalt patching, pothole repairs, they're getting started. So Rolling Hills, those things will be tended to as the Hamlet Advisory, which was already on our radar. The school access road, still talking about, do we mill it all up, remix it with oil? Do we do a dust abatement just to clean that one up and get that off of the list with the Hamlet Advisory? Otherwise, Tilly landfill closure work has started, so we'll get that one off the books finally. Tilly Lagoon desludging, geotubes continue doing what they're doing, but there's very little dewatering noted going on there, probably with some evaporation and the heat that we've had. So engagement with Lambourne Environmental to find out what our next steps are and what the timing is something that the Manager of Engineering, Planning and Development Services will be looking at. Quotation for Lake Newell Resort lift station still being worked on to get the rest of that work tendered out and done. Kinbrook Island, and the pathway work, we have a date for grand opening, which is the 25th of September, 4 p.m. That'll be following your regular council meeting so that you don't have to go and come back. We went with the Thursday. I acknowledge it might not be the best day for the public. It accommodates yourself. I hope it works for every other partner that was involved in this, along with the contractors. But we'll get some people out on the pathway. We have a couple of vendors that we're working on getting to show up for you. And hopefully we can encourage people to bring their own bikes, their rollerblades, their roller skates, their skateboards, whatever. Pets are welcome as well, because we want everybody on the pathway using it. I can confirm for council there are quite a few regulars using the pathway every single day of the week. So that is great news following an extended timeline. Still some cleanup and stuff to be done along it, but we're well on our way, and the trailhead is looking really, really good for what was planned. Other than that, Lake Newell Resort pathway is also under construction. They did their proof roll the other day, so hopefully they're going to start getting some gravel base down where it can be, and we'll have the asphalt laid also before seasonal change without jinxing myself, and have that work completed, and Lake Newell Resort benefiting from all of those projects and not carrying forward to next year. So if there are any questions of council, I will do my best.
Thanks, Mark. I expect there will be some. I have one with regard to dust abatement. I mean, I expect that it probably hasn't stood up as well as it sometimes does because of the rain, intermittent and regular smaller rains that we had. What's your experience been with that?
You need some kind of moisture and humidity to reactivate calcium chloride. So without it, it's going to dry out. Once we get some moisture, it'll come back.
Okay.
Hopefully with cooling temperatures in the mornings and stuff, we get a little bit of dew going and it kind of reactivates itself. Otherwise, we don't have much to do other than if council got into a program of running around with the water truck that is going to be very labor intensive to.
No, I'm not suggesting that, but I just was interested in the dynamic, but it's good to know. If moisture will fix it up again, that's good. Good, thanks. Greg?
Regarding the Kimbrough connection pathway, has it been signed over to the county now from the contractor?
Substantial completion is expected to be awarded next week. That means there can still be deficiencies, outstanding work to be done, the cleanup, landscaping and stuff, but yes, substantial is expected next week. And then there'll be a warranty period following that yet.
Okay, thank you. Holly?
Hi, Mark. I had heard there were some ratepayers at Lake Newell Resort who were very upset about the construction process, but a lot of the other people seem to be very happy. So was there a problem area, or just some people weren't unhappy with their lives being uprooted a bit?
Limited to some people. I believe the majority are ecstatic with the improvements and very, very satisfied with how all of the work has been carried out, along with the services and above and beyond commitment from the contractor, because following the severe weather event, a bunch of seaweed washed up on the beaches, and they went out with their equipment and cleaned up the seaweed on the beaches and everything. Like, they have really gone above and beyond. I've heard that ratepayers have had an ice cream day where they invited the contractors to come for ice cream to celebrate. It's been a great community thing that I can't really say I've seen elsewhere. So credit to Lake Newell Resort residents, and I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. Any other questions? Holly, go ahead.
Do you need us to say who's coming for the Kinbrook pathway opening, or just going to assume we're all going to be there?
I'm going to assume all of you will be there with the exception of one or two, because to have all 10 of you for a meeting is a challenge most days, but just hot dogs are being planned for the meal and stuff, and I know some people have some schedules that they got to get in and get out of here, so just like to have the majority of you for the big accomplishment that's been worked on over the period of time you've been on council, and yeah, we've got other things that'll be going on as well that you might want to be part of, so we'll release a little bit more once we get more confirmed for you.
Okay, good, thank you. Any other questions? If not, a motion to approve the municipal services report would be in order. Greg?
I'll make that motion.
All in favor? That's carried. Thank you, Mark.
Back up to Todd.
Let's go back up to 9.1, please. Agriculture Services Business, Mr. Green.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Especially Dan. 2 more meetings, Dan. 2 more. Hi. All right, well, I just have a quick update for you guys. Just so you know where some of our bigger programs are at or headed. Roadside mowing, we are doing a lot faster pass this time than last time. So excited that we're nearing completion on that one. I assume the crew that is doing the work is also excited to be nearing completion on that and move on to some other tasks. But near as I heard, they are just about ready to cross the number 1 again. So the second pass on the south side should be relatively quick. We should be in and out of there early October, which is good because Mark led us down the path of not talking about the seasonal changes that are coming. But that is one of the big tasks that we do this time of year. So we did keep on some seasonal staff that had a little extra time, weren't returning to school. So we have 2 on until next week. So we're doing some extra spraying and some extra hamlet mowing. We just don't seem to be quitting on the hamlet mowing. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. So I don't know in the 20 years I've been here if we've had this green of grass in the majority of our hamlets in September, which is exciting. So it was really nice that those crew got to stick around a little bit longer. Austin and his team, we actually had one VMT that wasn't returning to school as well, so she stayed on with us. She's doing a little extra training to help out at CDC, but she's also been a big part of doing some spraying in the hamlets, as well as CDC and Emerson Bridge Park. So some fall spraying for some winter annuals, dandelions, thistles, those kinds of weeds, which is probably the best time to spray dandelions, but it's most visual in the spring when everything is yellow. So we tend to do a lot in the spring. Emerson, speaking of Emerson, we've had a really good season there. Will mentioned yesterday at our management meeting that we're going to be very close to last year, so about average, and that's perfectly fine. We don't hate average. We just always like to be above average, but we will be closing that up soon. I know he's got a few on the hook, a few patrons on the hook for some extended season camping, and we always love to see it. That is an absolutely gorgeous place to be in the fall. Those cottonwoods are 80 years old. They're 50 feet across at the top, and when they're yellow, orange, and brown, it is unbelievable down there. So if you haven't taken an opportunity to get your picture taken down there, maybe some family pictures or something along that line, it's a great place to do it, and for anybody that needs that. So we talked about hamlet mowing. This is the time of year where we start putting some of our sprayers to bed, so quickly trying to get over everything we need to get to. We are still doing the trials with Foothills Forage and Grazing Association. Austin and Sonia did some extra spraying in August, and they're doing their kind of final tour not next week, the week after, just to see kind of how everything worked out. We are pretty excited about the list of products we used. Tried 3 different products on kind of a thistle patch, and we tried 3 different products on a downy brome patch. So we're pretty excited about how that looks, how it improves the pasture for grazing, and obviously the weed control. So anyways, more info to come. Next year will be the tour, so a lot of pre-work. I'm confident that Austin is excited about it because he does talk about it a lot. So it must be working out well. And I know everybody's always excited to hear about CDC, so I thought I would give a quick recap because 4 of you were at our meeting this morning, so 4 of you don't want to hear it again, but you're going to anyways. We did harvest all of our barley. We did very well in Bow Island. Kudos to the producers down there that helped us get through the season. Absolutely couldn't have done it without them. They were instrumental when it came to organizing contractors to do work, when it came to doing work themselves, obviously on a cost recovery model. But yeah, we worked together on what the best price was going to be for everybody, and I think we did it at a reasonable rate, and we had an amazing crop. So that's great. We also had a local farmer take a combine out of his operation and combine our barley up here. So luckily he has more than one, and he had a great team member that was able to do that for us. And again, was very reasonable with his costs and willing to work with us to make sure we have some extra dollars to pay some other bills. So we did do some fall spraying. We're continue down that path. Christy and Dawn are working. We had some unfortunate equipment breakdowns on some of the bigger equipment, so it's taken a little bit longer than we want it to. But we're working towards having all of our thistles sprayed. We had one potential patron come out to take a look at one site, and when we walked around, there was more thistles and dandelions and kochia than he was interested in seeing. So I said, well, how do we know that you don't want to do research on thistles or dandelions or kochia? So we don't want to commit money unless we have a goal at the end in mind. And he agreed with me, but he said, if it had a little bit less weeds, I'd probably be a little bit more interested. So I committed to spending $30 an acre, and here we go. So hopefully that works out well. Those sites have not historically been fall irrigated, and we really noted some of that in our germination this spring. So we are going to put a couple inches down on everything we can this fall. We are actively in the construction phase on the Griffin, excited in its progress. Again, a lot of local contractors, and even when I say local, I mean some of the HVAC guys are out of Medicine Hat, but they truly they understand our goals, they understand the timeline, and they are all working as hard as they can to get us there, and it's very much appreciated. And the rest of it is just planning for next year, trying to meet new people and do better.
Okay, thanks, Todd. Questions, comments?
We can move on, that's fine, that's easy. I love it, I love it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, well, that was just a quick update. I apologize, I didn't make it as quick as I could have. The next thing on the agenda for you guys, for me, is just this wonderful Ag Service Board South Region Conference. It's an amazing ag conference, always is. I did email the agenda to you. I know I got it to you guys after the meeting, so it's not in the agenda package today, but it looks like Cypress County has kind of followed suit a little bit. Discussing the history of the area, same as what we did last year, if you guys remember. So I love it when people mimic us a little bit. But it is, to be honest, that's kind of the theme a lot when we go down to the different areas, because to me, the history of the area is important. I love hearing it. So we do hear a little bit about that. Living peat-free soil, that's another cool one. We've actually met the presenter there at CDC. They wanted to utilize the property for some stuff, so it'll be nice to reconnect with her at that time. And then, yeah, it's a relatively quick day, 9 a.m. to 3:30. We did book hotel rooms at the place in Elkwater. Might actually be called the Elkwater Lodge. Yeah. So that'll be a lot of fun if that is something we want to do. I do note it does start at 9 a.m. It's only a 2-hour drive to the Eagle's Nest Ranch. So if we don't want to go the night before, that's fine too. But anyways, I'll leave that up to you. I think it's going to be a great conference, great time to reconnect and go from there.
Okay, thank you, Todd. You need to know how many of us will be attending?
I do, and because it's only like 3 weeks away, probably pretty quickly.
I will say that I would like to attend, but I'm a little bit tentative yet, but probably wouldn't make it the night before. Unless I, it's only 2 hours to Eagle Butte from here.
From here.
Yeah. Okay, well, what's council want to go the night before? Neil?
Yeah, I'm on board, ditto to Arno there. I just soon drive up the morning and stay the night before, but whoever wants to stay the night before, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, if somebody, Adina?
Well, it takes me a lot to look good in the morning, so I would like to stay over the night before. The only thing is Amanda and I have a meeting the day before, so we wouldn't be able to leave till about 5:30 Monday.
Okay, I think that would, go ahead. Holly?
I'd like to go. I'll just wait to see who's doing what. But I'm going the night before, the morning of.
Okay, so who do we have attending then?
I'll go the night before. I have an extra 40 minutes on that, so.
Okay. Greg? Neil? Amanda? Okay. Kelly, myself, Holly, Adina, and Dan not? Okay. And we can check with Ellen and Lynette. But, and the details of whether it's night before or morning of, that doesn't have to be the same for all of us. We can figure that out closer to the date, but probably need to let Todd know if we want a room.
Yeah, and just to cancel the room so somebody else could stay there if we need to.
Right.
We do have some last minute accommodation needs. I have some contacts there. I can get you a bed pretty close, so.
Okay.
We just
Good.
can't all stay in the same cabin, that's all. Unless somebody wants to sleep on the couch.
Noted. Thanks, Todd. I think we're good.
I think so. I'll send out a quick email just to confirm everything and include Ellen and Lynette. Cheapers.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
We'll get you guys through information items, and then we could go in camera while we wait for Marina.
Well, let's move on to information items. Is there anything anyone has questions or comments on relative to the information items? Amanda, please.
Just a clarification on the payment registry. Dog housing fee, $1,939.12. So I just, is that stray dogs? What is that?
That would be any of the dogs our bylaw guys pick up and take to BAPS that exceed our established agreement. Don't quote me, but off the top of my head, we pay a retainer fee. You get a couple of nights free for each dog you bring, and then anything beyond that, you have a price tag to pay. And there has been some significant dog activity both in the county and with our partners in the villages this year. It's been a bad year for some bad dogs.
Okay, thank you. Holly.
I had two questions, also from the payment register. I see we bought bear spray. I was wondering if that was because of Emerson Park Campground, they spotted one, as well as there was $6,200 spent in firewood, which I also assume is for Emerson Campground, and I'm wondering if that is sold on a cost recovery basis or not.
Matt, go ahead.
Yes and yes. Our safety folks are telling us we're going to have to develop a bear safety standard and bear training, because we did have a visitor down at Emerson. So Todd could probably tell you better, but Fish and Wildlife, RCMP were down there. We've got a couple of cans of bear spray. So good eye, catching things that are out of the ordinary. And then yes, to the second question, firewood goes down and is sold at cost. I've tried to twist the arm and say we should squeeze a bit of a profit out of that. But Emerson's a great place. I was hearing tell of folks from the south and Calgary, all over the place, who like getting down there because it's so quiet. Now they got to worry about bears.
Go ahead, Holly.
I had one further question about that Newell irrigation call. And then I remembered that we had discussed irrigation out here a long time ago, and I didn't ever find out what the outcome was of the issue with the irrigation, the increased cost, and I can't even remember what we decided to do about it. But I just remember we had an irrigation issue. Is it ringing a bell with you?
It's not.
Okay, all right. Well, then we'll have a discussion later.
Okay, thanks. Matt?
Yeah, I can follow up with Todd and Joe to get details on that.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'm going to suggest that we take 5 and then move into in camera at 5 after 11. Motion to move in camera. Holly moves. All in favor, please indicate. That's carried. Pardon me? item number 8.1, update on Lake Newell Resort Marina Association. Welcome, Bill. Do you know everybody around the room? We can do introductions quick. Go ahead, Neil.
Neil Johnson, welcome, Bill, Division 10 Councillor.
Welcome, Amanda Philpott, Division 8 Duchess.
Hi, Bill.
Hi, Bill. I'm Kelly Chrisman from Division 6, which is the northwest side of the county.
Yeah, Arno Dirksen, go ahead.
Nice to see you, Bill. Thanks for all your work on this Marina project. I know it's been a big file for you.
Good morning, Holly Johnson, Division 4, Scandia, Rainier, and Bow City areas.
Hello, Adina Scandra, the Division 2, the hamlet of Tilly and surrounding area.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Dan Short from Division 1, Rolling Hills.
Okay.
Council for the opportunity to allow the Lake Newell Marina Association to make our presentation today. It's been almost 2 years, I think, since the association was first here. We made an application for a grant because our intent was to remove and install a new launch at the Marina Association. And at that time, the council saw fit to grant, allow us a grant of $65,800. Now, we haven't accessed any of that those funds at this point. I think the primary reason was it was conditional on the association working with the developer to obtain an easement that would allow the public general access to both the launch and to the marina facility. Now, there's been, no pun intended, but there's been a lot of water under the bridge since then. We've had, I think there were 2 meetings that Premier Smith was involved with. It was in attendance, the county representatives, the EID representatives, the developer, and the association. And basically, at the end of the second agreement, we came to what I would believe would be a tentative agreement with the land owner. And with the help of Lane, we're in the process, very hopefully, in a very short time frame, we will have the approval of the developer, and then hopefully the county and the association. There's another agreement that has to be done between the association, the EID, and the landowner. And I've had one meeting with the lawyer for the EID, and he prepared an agreement, and we're meeting again on the 18th of September, and hopefully getting that to a point where we can then send that on to the developer. So where we're at now is that after we came to the tentative agreement with the developer or the landowner, it was suggested by Premier Smith that we apply for a municipal sustainability grant. So, and that's a process in itself. We started that grant in January of this year, and we were supposed to know by the end of June. June has come and gone, and we were supposed to know by the end of July. That had come and gone, and so finally I phoned and in August, and they indicated that they hadn't made any decisions yet, but the decision would be forthcoming. So it was probably within a matter of days after that, we received confirmation that we received, it's a matching grant of $117,000. So we actually have that money in our account now. And so with that, we are in the process of finalizing the Lake Newell Marina Association replacement of the old launch and the installation of a new one. Now, I should also point out that in part of the agreements that, or the discussions that took place between all the parties, the stakeholders, it was determined that the shoreline by the marina should be repaired, basically. So the intent is for that is to remove the existing poles and then put new riprap in there. And the EID is going to do that work. And the EID has given us a quote of a little over $100,000. So we haven't finalized everything with that part of the project yet, but as I mentioned, the removal of the launch and the replacement of the launch is going to start on September 22nd. So you may recall that initially, when we were here 2 years ago, the initial cost that we had estimated was that the cofferdam was going to be $38,032.59. The cement launch was going to cost $51,187.50, and the removal of the existing launch was $4,802.70. So that the total cost of that project was $94,022.79. And with the County of Newell grant of $65,800, that left a shortfall of $28,222.79, which the association was going to accept responsibility for in order to finance the project. Unfortunately, since then, the costs have escalated, and we're now faced with a significant increase in the costs of the project. So the contractor is VHL Construction, and they're out of Tabor. They're going to do the launch. And the EID has had experience with them. They apparently did the one at Rolling Hills. They're satisfied with that. So the new cost of the initial cost back 2 years ago was $55,990. And now, with GST, it's $75,950. In addition, we discovered that they want the association to pay for the gravel that's going to be placed before they pour the cement. So it's going to be a gravel base. The cost of that we're getting from Smith Brothers. And with delivery and GST, that's $1,836.18. So that the total cost for the ramp is $81,583.68. So that's an increase of $25,593.48. Now, in order to complete the ramp construction, we have to have a cofferdam. And I'm assuming everybody knows what a cofferdam is. Basically, you put a dam around the area that there's going to be work that's going to be done, and the water's pumped out. So initially, back 2 years ago, the cofferdam quote was $38,032.59, and today the cofferdam is contract is $67,715.25. Now, of that figure of $67,715.25, we have a little bit of leeway in the sense that if the association can supply pumps and manpower, that'll come off the account or the estimated bill. So we're estimating that of the $67,715.25, that we can knock that down to $50,000 plus GST, which is $52,000. That's a savings of $14,467. Now, the other thing we found out is that with the cofferdam, we have to have a fish salvage person. So that person's coming out, and once the cofferdam is up, I guess he or she ensures that all the fish are out, and then there's some licenses that he has to apply for, and all in on that is approximately $5,300, or pardon me, $5,300, or pardon me, $5,600, $5,617. So the total cost of the project is now, oh, and there's one other thing, is that when I was discussing it with Lane, apparently the legal cost is part of the agreement that we entered into with the county and the landowner, is that the agreement would be drafted at the expense of the county. And at this point, the legal costs are $4,781.68. And Lane advised me that that would come off the top of the grant. So if we factor that in, the total cost is now $159,698.11. So if we consider the fact that you've granted us $65,800 already, and I called it work in lieu with respect to the cofferdam, that's a contribution of $15,215.25. We can use conservatively $10,000 of the $117,000 grant that we have from the provincial government, and that brings it down to $91,015.25. So there is a shortfall of $68,682.96. So if I look at the percentage of the original cost that the county was prepared to give us a grant for, it was basically 70% of the initial cost. If I calculate that 70% of the 68,000, then that would mean that we would be asking the county for an additional $48,078. So in order to be, I want to be transparent. The shoreline is important to correct or to mitigate, or remediate, I guess it's a proper word. And so the EID has indicated that they will not increase their cost, so that the EID is prepared to do this work for, and it's going to be in a range of $105,000. So I went to the EID and indicated, can you give us, they won't reduce the money, they won't reduce the account. They said they can't give us a loan, so ultimately I was able to negotiate a situation that if we pay 50% now of the total account, we can have up to 18 months to pay the other 50%. So that'll give us some flexibility with respect to going and having the whole project completed now. But I really can't tell you at this point the amount of money that the association has. Right now, we're probably down to $39,000, and we've got some ongoing expenses. So in the bank, I don't want to run an association that's basically flatlining at zero. We have to maintain some money. So, and we also have applied for a raffle, and to apply for a raffle these days, it's almost as difficult as applying for a municipal sustainability grant. We made the application, you need 8 weeks, so we were hoping to have that this fall. Now it's not going to happen, so we're likely going to have that in the spring of next year. We've also applied for a casino license, and again, if and when we get that. So what I'm suggesting is that we're using the best efforts here that we can to have this project come to fruition. And I think at the end of the day, if it does come to fruition, it'll be impressive, because we'll have right now we have a new dock out there. We'll have a new launch it'll be wide enough to have two people on, or two boats on at the same time, so you can have two going in or one coming in, one coming out. And we also ultimately are going to have a situation where we can have gates or some sort, because quite honestly, we think that there's a lot of day users who don't pay anything, because we don't have staff out there 24/7. And when the staff is there, primarily students from the summer months, they don't get out there till 10 o'clock in the morning, and there's a lot of fishermen go out there early. So we're hoping that once this is all done, we'll be able to finance and have a little better financial operation and monitoring of what's going on out there. So what I'm saying, in a perfect world, I guess what we're here to ask for, I'm here to ask for, is another $48,078. And do we need that all at this time? Probably not. But as I said, is that when we have the rest of the work done by the shoreline, and the county, or pardon me, the EID is insisting that they do the work, so we're going to need another $100 and some odd thousand at that point. So I'm just, if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them if I can.
Thanks, Bill. Yeah, there'll be some questions. Dan, go ahead.
I'm just curious if those contractors gave you an indication as to why the price had jumped so much in such a short amount of time. That's like 50% increase-ish?
All I can tell you is they just say that the costs of labor and supplies have gone up, and this is what it is. And there's not a whole lot of, I mean, to give you an example, we had someone, we had another quote from someone that was doing work out here. And I mean, to do the launch, it was $200,000-300,000. So, I mean, it's just not practical. But that's all I can tell you, is that there's 2 years worth of inflation, and that's what they tell us.
Okay, go ahead, Matt.
So,
or Dan, yeah.
Just a follow-up, the scope hasn't changed. The original quote to the quotes, the adjusted quotes, is for the exact same work, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Holly.
I'm just wondering what the input of the residents and the users have been. I recall in the original application you had included that, but it's not here. It makes it a little difficult for me to balance it all, right? I don't remember all those details.
Well, I mean, initially, the members of the association contributed a significant amount for the slips, because the slips were over $200,000. So between the members and the association, we paid for that. So, but as far as the launch, we were, with this grant, we were quite prepared and thought that we could easily pay for the difference between the cost that it then was, and because of the shortfall of about $22,000. But now, I mean, we're stretched for funding, and as I mentioned, I think we're doing everything that we can to make ourselves financially independent and continue on, but there are a lot of expenses, and we're going to have additional expenses because of the agreement that we've entered, that hopefully we'll enter with the landowner, because we're now going to have to pay proportionate share of property taxes, insurance, and also some rent on the, additional rent on the building. So, as I said, could we finance the whole thing? Maybe, but that would just put us in a situation where we may not be able to carry on a successful financial operation.
Bill, how many members do you have?
There's it'd be in the range of 50.
50?
Yes, because there's 50 slip owners.
Yeah.
So, and each year they contribute, I think it's $1,000 for the use of the, call it rental of their slip. So.
Okay. Thank you. Dina, go ahead.
Just to verify, so you still don't have an agreement signed then with the landowner? Like there's not an easement agreement signed yet, or?
No, perhaps Lane can speak to that.
We're just in the final stages. There's just a little bit of cleanup of wording on the draft agreement, but it's nearing completion.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Holly.
So once this is built, your plan is to raise the rates enough to cover additional costs for property taxes and anything else that comes along? Is that, do I understanding you correctly?
Yes, well, and it's our intent to continue on an annual basis to have a raffle. We're going to raffle off a Sea-Doo that a local business is giving it to us at his cost. And so we plan on doing that on a regular basis, so that'll allow us to have more income. Because I don't know how much more we can raise the slip fees before people just say they don't want it. But I think that the other thing is that I think that we can make some additional money by having the people that use this launch on a regular basis pay a share. And it's not as if we're going to be asking $1,000. I mean, right now, I think the fee is $25 a day. And if an annual amount is a little over $100. So, I mean, even if we raise it to $30 a day, if you're out there for 5 days, you're going to cover the annual cost. It's just that I think we're going to get a lot of people that haven't been paying.
Okay, thanks, Bill. Kelly?
So we're always talking about user pay around the table. I wonder if your $1,000 a year boat slip is an average in Alberta. I just Googled it. Google tells me anywhere from $200 per month to $950 per month.
So we would be, with respect, we would probably be in the range of, because people only use it for the 4 months, April, May, June, July, probably, and August, so. It's not, because obviously.
Not an annual.
No.
Okay.
No. So at 4 months, that's $250 a month. And then it's difficult for me to say what sort of, I mean, some of the marinas have a lot more facilities than what we have. And because basically all that we have is a situation where you have your boat and that's it. And until recently, we didn't even have a washroom that they could use other than a porta potty. So
I was just trying to get to the user pay system, but that's not something that's going to pay for this, is it?
no, but I think that if we are able to collect more on a daily launch fee, I think then it's going to be more of a user pay.
But the boat slips are, I'm not sure that titled is the right word, but the boat slips are owned by the boat slip owner, or leased by the boat slip owners for the season, right?
Yes, what it is that when this agreement was initially done years and years ago, the developer owns the slips.
Yeah.
So there was a license agreement that each slip owner had, and that license agreement then required that person to pay an annual due to the association. And that's basically where we're still at. So the people that contributed $5,000 for their slip, they don't own the slip.
No.
They have a license to it. And so, and that was a tough sell because you're paying $5,000 and you really don't.
But it's a renewable
Yes.
license for that slip as long as it's in the water, right?
That's right,
So
yeah.
so from when does it go in April comes out in October?
Well, no, the slip stays there.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Okay,
And so
yeah.
it's just the boats come in.
Right,
And
right.
so,
yeah.
so you're right in the sense of that, Arnold, is that it's, the license is an ongoing basis, and for as long as the marina stays in business,
Yeah.
the people, quote unquote, own
On,
the slip.
yeah, the lease on this, whatever.
Yeah.
I got you, yeah, that's good. Amanda?
Bill, just a quick question. For non-slip owners, for people coming in, non-members in that area, is there a fee for that, for them to launch their boat?
For the launch, it's $30 if you, per day. And then if you, as I said, a seasonal pass to launch is I think it's $150. And we also have slips that are available for rent on a daily basis, weekly, monthly. And so what we try to do is if somebody's wants to rent a slip for a month, we try to make it so that entices people to rent the slip for the season. So we do have some income from that.
Do you keep stats on the number of boats that come in?
Short answer is no.
No?
And the reason why is because there's a lot of times that people come and go before there's anybody there. So we just don't man the marina facility 24/7. So as I mentioned, I think on the May long weekend, we have staff there that's on the weekend and they're students. And then, but during the week, we don't know.
Okay.
And that's why we think that if we set up another system where there's a lock or some sort of electronic facility, then we think that we'll be able to monitor that much better and also keep track of, and get more money.
So I was just wondering, is that $30, is that comparable for launching boats in Alberta?
I believe it is because there's a launch, and I don't know, because the marina manager indicated we have to be mindful because there is a launch at Kimbrook Park. And so, quite frankly, I don't know if they charge anything or what. So it's just convenience for people that come out here, they can use it. And
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Greg?
Just want to be clear, Bill, on as far as discussions with the EID is basically the EID is are they given a deal on the shoreline? Are they just doing it on a cost recovery? Is it have they contributed anything to this project as far as over and above cost recovery on the shoreline, their shoreline? Is there a benefit to the EID for having a proper boat launch?
EID's position is that it's a irrigation lake, and it's for irrigation, recreation, they're not concerned about. So they will not, even though it's their shoreline, they're saying they're not going to contribute anything out of their pocket for the shoreline. What they've indicated is that they will charge us what it costs them. And, but we have gone to the EID and their position is simply, no, they're there for irrigation purposes and recreation is not something they're concerned about.
Greg, go ahead.
Just to follow up, is it important for the EID to have a marina there or a working managed boat launch there for the mussel problem?
Well, I think it is, and part of the agreement that I've seen is they want the onus on us, being the association, to inspect for mussels. Well, again, I mean, I don't know how we can do that when we don't have someone there all the time, but they're not concerned about the boat launch. And I think that with respect to the mussel situation, they're saying it's more of a provincial issue than it is that the EID has to worry about it, even though if the mussels get in there, it can significantly damage the lake.
Thanks. Holly?
Just one more question about use of the boat launch. So you can launch your boat from Kinbrook Island, I believe. You can launch a boat from Rolling Hills Reservoir. So what percentage of, like, what's the number of people who might use this boat launch? Is it well supported within Lake Newell Resort? Obviously 50 people do, but is it used a lot, well supported?
Well, I would say it's, talking about general numbers, I think it's used a lot because there's always people that have, they park their vehicles out there with the trailers, and some days there's maybe 50. Other days there may be 2 or 3. It just depends on the fishermen themselves. But I think that it's well used. And as far as the marina or the Lake Newell residents, there's a number of them that have boats, and they take the slip. So once their boat is in the water, they don't have to take it out of the launch. So it's only the people that use the lake to fish on a daily or basis that would use the launch.
Okay. Okay, I'm not sure that we can make a decision on this
That's
today,
fine.
but you want us to be aware of it, and to be clear, you're still working on other ways of raising some of this shortfall, right?
Yes.
With the raffle and the potential casino
Yes.
license. So you're working on some of that, and you've got some time.
Yes, we have, in light of the arrangement that the EID is prepared to give us with respect to payment, of that $117,000, we've got to pay $55,000 of that. So that gives us some flexibility. And if the county was prepared to even give us a conditional grant, so that I don't know where all this thing is, where the thing's going to come out in the wash. We may struggle through this and have enough, but what we don't want to do is we thought that we wanted to get this launch done this year to prevent any more escalation in the prices.
Yeah.
And so the project isn't in danger as of this date, but if we don't raise, ultimately, if we're short of funds, then we may be back. But, and I think that even if we have the intention or a condition from the county to say, you do the work, you see where you're at, and you come back, and if you need another $40,000 or $50,000, we'll entertain it. And then you can see at that point what we've done in order to raise the money ourselves. Because, I mean, the county's been very good to us, so, but I think that we just want some sort of backstop in case we cannot come up with all the money.
Right. And I mean, that isn't an insurmountable amount of money for 50, you know, I mean, realizing that it's a larger group use than just the 50 slip owners, but it's, that doesn't sound, you know, on a personal level, doesn't, or I mean, in the context of what's happening here, it's not insurmountable, but I can.
But I'll tell you, as most people know, is when you ask people to contribute, it's tough to get them to contribute.
No, that's right.
And we just think that in the long run, this will benefit the county. And then we have some other plans there as well. You can make a little park and do all sorts of things. And the other thing is that there's costs here that we found out that some additional work has to be done. And we have received confirmation from some local business that that business is prepared to assist. So it may turn out, as I mentioned, particularly with the cofferdam, that with the assistance of that business, it may knock the cost down or reduce the cost. So that'll give us some additional funds.
Sure. Okay, I'm not, I think we've got a good understanding of what's happened here, and I certainly would compliment you and your group on the work that you've done together with where we're at today compared to where we were at 2 years ago is remarkable, and we're seeing progress. And
and it just, I mean, the Water Act and trying to get anything through that
Yeah,
is just so frustrating.
Yeah, yeah.
You think you've got it, and then you get a text or an email or a phone call, and you figure, well, what's gone wrong now?
Yeah.
So, but I think it's close to being, that we can bring this thing to fruition.
Okay. I think we can break for now, eh? Any other questions? Thanks for the information, Bill, and.
Okay, well,
and-
thanks for your time, I
all the
appreciate
best.
it.
Yeah, thank you. Oh. I would entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. I'll just adjourn the meeting. In fact, in the absence of that, I'll just adjourn the meeting.
In fact.
Yes. Meeting adjourned. Well, that's good news.
Progress.
Huh?